Hey guys, this is Val with Keppel Island Swimming Association. I'm here on Great Keppel with Carl Svetson. He been on Keppel forever.
Forever, for 63 years. Yeah, just as a local here. I suppose I could call myself a local now. Well, I've got a lifetime of on Keppel, so yeah, I can help you out. And as a fisherman, I'm very aware of the waters and currents and all that sort of stuff, which you should find very helpful for your swimmers. So pleasure to help.
Yeah.
So we'll have a talk through where the swim goes, and Val will be talking about his experience, and I'll add the current and a bit of other information as I can.
Hopefully it'll be helpful for you guys, and it'll make you feel like you've been here before, and that will make you swim much more pleasant, I guess, and less worries. So we have the map of the Great Keppel Island, and it's fantastic. That's Lindy, Carl's partner, made a table. An idea of having the swim clockwise in that time of the year. Winds, that will be in the morning. They're going to come from southeast.
That's right. The wind's tending at this time of the year and you're going to be doing it in the quiet time. You're not going to want to do it when it's really rough. So this time of the year, the winds come in from the south. So your start is along the sheltered side of the island, and normally by the time you're getting out into the back side or the rougher side of the island, hopefully the breezes have eased down and they change direction, everything goes nice and quiet. That's a pretty normal winter pattern. Yeah, well, you're starting off here at the spit.
The plan is to start maybe hour and a half in the tide.
Yep, that's a good time to do it. You need the ebb tide, because as you leave from the spit, and you head across here, the current will start to give you a little bit of a help as you're coming up here to Putney Passage, which is at the end of Leagues.
You can use that as a swimmer, yeah.
And actually, we'll put our blue swimmer in here, and so as you come along here, the current's helping the swimmer along. And probably it's a good idea to swim out a little bit beyond the point here with the current. Because there will be another current in here. So if you were to swim hard around the point, you would run into that current, and that would be against you. So it's a good idea just to follow out here with the current, as you did with Joyce in that swim. And you flowed with the current, and then you came back in to Big Peninsula, which is down here. And the current flows all the way down there if you get away at that correct time. And then you come close around the point here and start the swim along the deeper water side of the island. And it can be the weather out here, it can be a little rougher, depending on what's been happening. So you'll probably see a change in the water and how choppy it is or how smooth it is.
We divided island literally on three parts. Swim. Yeah, so you go from Spit to the Big Peninsula.
That'll be you'll have some tidal assist there.
Yeah, that's about just a little bit over 6 kilometers, and then you go from the peninsula
around
to the Coconut Point,
the deep water side around here. This is Coconut Point over here.
I'm gonna call it the back of the island.
The back of the island, the eastern side of the island.
And then from after you pass the Coconut Point, from Coconut Point pretty much all the way back to the Spit, that's the third part. That's the finish line.
That's a good way actually, because out here, once you come around the peninsula here, you swim out of the main current stream if you've got your timing correct, which Bell tries to organise, that it's going to be that way. And then the swim along here, there may not be much current, but there will be little currents here and there, so you'll get a little bit of assist and etc.
We're missing the rock.
So normally you will swim across, and just for now we're going to take this shell here and make this bald rock, because my wife didn't put bald rock on the map, so they won't be happy. So the swim is, you come around, and obviously the exercise is to swim around all the points of the island, otherwise you're not achieving the swim. You can go around bald rock on the outside. I think that would be okay if you wanted to, but I would not see a reason to do that. You would probably swim
straight a line to go
straight a line to this point here, which is what we call Bald Rock Point, because it's Bald Hills, Bald Rock Point, and that's Bald Rock.
The lighthouse.
And the lighthouse is there, so when you're swimming, you'll be able to probably look and see a little bit of the lighthouse, would you?
Yes,
Yeah.
you can see the lighthouse, but when you're swimming around there, it's very rocky underneath. Yes,
Yes.
That's where.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you may
So-
see the bottom at times as
Yeah.
you're going along. So don't be concerned about that, because anything that may concern you will be obvious.
Yeah.
But you will have some shallower waters around between Bald Rock and the lighthouse until you get around the actual point there of the
Yeah.
headland.
Yeah.
And then the water goes deep again. So your halfway point's roughly as you're swimming past the
Yeah.
lighthouse, and once you've got the lighthouse behind you and you can't see it anymore, you're past the halfway point. The current tends to flow, as I'm arrowing here with this, on the flood that way. Quite a bit of assist, maybe not so much across Red Beach. Can be a little bit turbulent across there because you get more swells on this back side of the island or east side of the island. And of course, when you've got swells coming in, you're getting backlash. So, and then once again, probably most times it's going to be a straight swim across to Coconut Point. And don't expect to see a coconut on Coconut Point.
Yeah.
There is no coconut. It's just a long, rocky, wild point. And it has several rocks, and you'll probably be approaching that around the turn of tide, hopefully. That can be a little bit tricky, and obviously they'll be there. The boating folks, etc., will be there to help you select the right spot there, because there's a few rocks out there can be a little bit intimidating, but it's all fun and all good.
Both times we swam, the swimmer and the kayaker went straight through, the close to the rocks as possible, and the boats went around just because it gets a little bit.
Yeah, the boats
turbulent
have
and
to
chubby.
be. One thing you need to consider as a danger point here on Coconut Point is that be wary of the current sweeping you in onto the rocks with breaking seas over them, because it is quite a strong current between those rocks.
Yeah.
So you need to try and make sure you're definitely centered, or if anything, closer to your left-hand white water
Yeah.
of the selected path. There'll have to be someone there in a jet ski really to give you like a buoy. You do need that there.
Yeah.
A bit careful there, and just really eyeball that before you go near it. Go ahead and have a look at it, because you can get a break on these rocks, and it can be a bit unexpected, because you've got an ocean swell can come in here sometimes. So once you come around Coconut Point, you're on your last third of the last one-third or leg, the last third leg, and it's not showing here, but we actually have. What do we use for this one? Everyone's familiar with the hand cleaner.
That's it, how it is, yeah.
So we'll put the Dettol down here. Sorry, halfway, but this is Halfway Island approximately here. So you swim around here, you'll see Great Keppel on your right, and there's a gap. The first gap is you swim between that gap, between Halfway Island and Clam Bay area. Very nice area of the island along here. So and you're swimming there, and you can, as soon as you come around Coconut Point, you may not see it, but your escorts will be able to see Monkey Point, which is that's the real home run once you get down to Monkey Point. And the current is helping you. This current is correct. It helps you once you get around here. Hopefully you're picking up a little flood tide, and that'll help you right up to the point. When you come to the end of Long Beach, you sometimes get a little bit of a kick off the point because the current's pushing out of Long Beach. On the I'll put that back there.
Put the island back.
Put the island back. So you'll head to go close past the point, but don't be too alarmed. This current might push you a little bit off, but that'll be fine. You'll come back onto around this point, the second point. We've got Little Monkey Point, which is the first part of Monkey Point you come to, and then there's Second Monkey Point, or Main Monkey Point. Once you come around Monkey Point, you've got what's called the Monkey Reef in here, and probably I think you'll see some no anchoring triangular buoys there. I would recommend not swimming inside those buoys, but keep them on your right. You can pass very close past them,
shallow.
but if the tide were to be quite low, and as Joy found out when she swam there, it was a little bit freaky. She suddenly found herself swimming in the shallower water, and you don't want to swim over the shallow water because that can tend to slow up any current assist you're getting anyway. So swim along by the buoys, the outside of the buoys, keep them on your right obviously, and as you swim up past shelving, the same thing, there's a nice reef along there, great snorkeling spot, but keep your buoys on the right and then obviously you're then on the very home last run across Fisherman's Beach to your finish at the spit.
And that's it. Simple
And
as that.
That's the finish. Whoops. That's probably what you'll be like when you get there, maybe.
Yeah. And our backup plan, if the weather is not cooperative, we're still gonna give a swim, but stay on this side of the island. We're just gonna go from Spit to the Big Peninsula and back, and we'll change the course. We're gonna stay close to the shore.
Yes.
So to go to each beach, and then by the time we get there and back, it's going to be very close to 20 kilometers anyway.
Yes, it would be if
So
you
just if you
hug
go
the shore all
yeah.
around sort of thing, and for sure.
So
Yeah,
the swim
that's
is
a good
going to
idea.
happen.
Yeah. So there will be a swim. No.
Yeah.
Now, just a quick point on when you come around Big Peninsula. I didn't ask you this, but as you come around Big Peninsula, fairly close in, but there's a rock here with Big Peninsula called Parker's Bommy, which can have a sea break on it, and it can come out of the water on a big low tide.
Yes, we saw the waves going out over it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did you
couldn't
swim
see the
between it and the island?
No,
or did
no,
you
no,
swim
no.
just offshore of it?
offshore.
Yeah, because you can swim quite close to it, but you just must be wary that you can get a sea break over that rock. So that's just after you go around Big Peninsula. It's probably about 400 metres along the rock face.
Yep.
And it's quite okay to swim inside it, but just be wary of that rock. The sea can build and break on it. That's a safety one you have to consider, particularly for the boaties. And of course, Bald Rock Point itself, you have to be a bit careful of, and Coconut Point. So they're your three main danger points that boaties need to be careful of.
Carl, what are the depths around here? I know for me, I felt like the deepest water was sort of up back here. This got shallow, but up along here it got deep. You were saying that down
Yes,
here
you're looking
can
at
get deep again?
you're looking at around about 15, 17 metres, I think, here. And generally, you're right. It's deeper water. Once you swim beyond Big Peninsula, you are into deeper water. Even in quite close there, it's fairly deep. You know, you're looking at 10 to 12 metres plus. And in the middle of the bay here, just remember, I think we're looking at around 15 plus metres.
Yeah.
So 16, you probably will not see the bottom. You'll
No,
be
you
lucky
can't.
to see the
No,
bottom
you can
along
see.
there.
You can see close to come to the rocks.
It's only in the shallow part here where the bald rock is here between the two. But there's a shelf of reef and stuff, and you will swim over that. And around the point here, you'll probably see a little bit of coral, but it'll be nice and deep. And then once you come around there, you won't see anything, even if the water's crystal clear. I very much doubt you'll see the bottom there, and it gets quite deep off Red Beach. You're down in that 15, 14 plus metres.
Yeah.
Until you come to the point.
Sorry, Carl, I'll just interrupt. When you pass the Bald Rock and you turn around the Bald Point? What's the?
Bald Rock Point. Yeah.
Yeah, Bald Rock Point, and you're looking straight. It looks like the island goes and goes and goes, because past the Coconut Point you can see the island.
You can see the other humpy island in the
Yes,
background.
and it looks like, oh my goodness, there's so much longer to swim, but actually it's
it's
visual deceptive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's not such a long swim there. Once you come around the Bald Rock Point, I'm just looking to give you an idea. It's about
That's about 2 kilometers if you look at the distance, and
that's 2 kilometres there. So yeah, it's less than 2k. So it's like about 10 minutes of your swim after you go past Passage Rocks from the start. So it's not that far. Maybe 15 minutes more than the Putney Beach, Putney Bay swim. So it's not as big as it may appear.
This though seemed to take a long time.
That's where you get the choppiest water. I think when I swam and you swam after Big Peninsula, when you swim by the rocks, you get the most just choppier.
You get
it's
choppy
smooth,
water,
and then all that area feels very choppy. But then it gets smooth again.
I was a bit concerned that you might have got a negative current in here somewhere, because you can get whirls in these bays of water. But I don't think there was much. But what probably happened was you might have had a period across here where you didn't get any current assist.
Yeah.
So you were just swimming through dead water. And it wasn't until you got down near the point that you started to pick up that current again, which you would have definitely felt as you swim between the rocks there.
Yes, definitely felt it through here.
Yeah.
This last little bit through here, and then there was a bit sort of down this way somewhere where I felt like I was being pushed backwards during the feed.
Okay, yes, there may have
I
been.
felt like it was pushing me this way when I'm wanting to go that way.
I
Not
would've-
too strong, but
No.
still enough that it was noticeable.
I think once you came round the point here at Coconut Point, you would have encountered. I would have expected you to encounter a negative against it, possibly for a while, somewhere out here. It might have been closer to Coconut Point than you realise, but it would have been against you.
Yeah, here it just felt like a bathtub of jelly, or just a sea of jelly.
Yes. So
and
what's probably happened there, because the current's been running out there for a while, and there's just a very gentle, there's no current or whatever, those little creatures, they've come up to the surface in that area, and that's where you'd swum through them there.
Yeah. So that was a good section in through here. And then again we had some more stingers along the back, but it was more like sea lice back there.
And it got more again at the...
and then more again through here.
So thanks very much for that.
That's a pleasure, and hopefully we'll be joining in if we get, and I think we will have an ability to come out. We get a bit of time, we'll come out. Because we also run a little ecotourism business at Spenson's Beach, which is over at this part of the island. We're several kilometres away from the main touristy and upper commercial business area here. So, but usually we can find some time to come out and come along and maybe see